Hi guys, welcome to our webinar on finance. My name is Tim Richardson. Looking forward to introducing our host, our guest speakers today. I'm the host. I guess you already know me. So we're going to get started in just a minute. While we're waiting for some folks to get in here into the room, go ahead and look for the chat icon. It's got these two little bubbles, and click on that, and that's where you can ask questions throughout the day or throughout the hour, and we'll get to those as best we can. And also, go ahead and while you're in there, just say what city you guys are watching from. It's interesting to see where you guys are at. We're in Ohio, broadcasting today, so look forward to seeing you guys. So today we have our two guests. Thank you guys for joining us. On the right, we have David Durnell. He's one of the owners of RV Wholesalers and has been in the industry for a long time. What, how many years, David?
Oh, gee, I think 23.
Nice. David comes from the, from the teaching background, working with schools and students, and loves to help people. And that's what I appreciate about you, Dave. And thanks for taking time today. And on his right, on our left, is Brad Stafford. He's a sales and finance manager. Been quite a few years. How long have you worked at RVW over the years, Brad?
So a total of about 7.
7 years.
Yep.
Thanks for taking time. I know it's a little crazy with overseeing 20 plus RV specialists and answering all the questions and keeping everybody happy and figuring out financing for everybody. So thanks for bringing your knowledge and experience to us today. Let's give a little shout out to Willie out in Ringgold, Georgia, Patricia from New York, Karen from Washington, Bob from Mariposa, California, and Carla, and hi Jeff from Las Vegas. Appreciate you guys taking time to join us. We've got some good tips and pointers, and let's get rolling. But before I do that, maybe David, why don't you explain why you're willing to take time out of your busy day to help folks like this with ideas on financing.
Well, Tim, what it really goes back to is we've been in business, like I said, for about 23 years, and one thing we figured out one day was there's no way we can sell every RV, right? We wish we could. It definitely would be a stretch goal. There's going to be this year, especially, well over 500,000 new RVs sold. That doesn't count used. So, just with the new going well over 500,000 this year will be a record year in the RV industry. There's no way we could sell to 500,000 people. We can't even sell to 10%, which is 50,000 people. 5,000 would probably tax us pretty hard. So we do this to help people that can't buy from us. Because again, like we just said, there's 495,000 easy that won't be able to buy from us, just looking at new, again, not counting used. We do this to help educate you to, what's a smart way to do business when you're dealing with an RV dealer, in this case, RV dealer and a bank. So we're trying to pass information on to you to help you save a lot of money and help protect you, protect your family, protect your finances. So, hopefully everyone takes notes. I think they get a copy of this at the end too, right? Email to them?
Yeah. Yep. We'll, in about 2 hours after the event, you'll get an email with a link to the replay video. So you can skip. Yeah. It's nice. You can skip right to sections if you don't want to learn about it.
Tim, sorry about that. We don't ever want to dismay anyone from buying or make you think that it's a bad industry. It's not, but there are definitely bad people in this industry, like with everything, right? I don't care what industry it is. I was a school teacher for 10 years. I taught with a lot of people that weren't good school teachers, but I taught with a lot of great school teachers. Well, what I just dealt with before I walked in this room is the bad side of the industry. We just opened a new location in Dodge City, Texas, and we've had investigators there now 8 times. The Texas Dealers RV Association keeps trying to turn us in for things. It's so funny. They show up, and every time we have all the paperwork. We're doing everything above board. Yeah, it's a beautiful thing when you do things the right way every time because it's the right thing to do, and you keep everything above board. Stuff like that doesn't bother you. But I can tell you this: it tells me what a great job that our people do here at RV Wholesalers, and what a great operation we have. That Texas is so terrified of us that barely being there for 2 months, they've had to again, the Texas RV Dealers Association 8 times now has put in complaints trying to catch RV wholesalers doing something, and keep sending them, boys, because you're not going to catch anything. We operate above board, we do what's right, and we always have and we always will. So that's kind of what we're talking about, guys. When we bring up that here's practices to be careful of and stuff, that's why we do it. Most dealers are great people, but you get a few, so we just want to help protect you as you buy.
Thanks. Yeah, let's just jump right in. Let's get some information on terms and what to look for. What's a good idea when you're starting to think about terms and how that relates to RV versus other things you might purchase, and what's some good wisdom there?
I learned a trick a long time ago, and it works. And you may have to think about it a little bit, but it really does work. And that is get the longest term that you can. Okay, and there's Brad, 15, 20 years now?
Yep.
Yeah, 15, 20-year terms. You can say, well, that's crazy. I don't want it for 15, 20 years. No, let me explain real quick. If you can get a 20-year term, get a 20-year term. I talk to customers all the time that say, well, I want a 5-year loan. Okay. If you know what the 5-year payment is and you can make it, go get the 20-year term. You're going to pay a ton of principal in that first year because you're on the 20-year term, okay? The first year of the loan is almost always interest. The bank wants their money up front. So if you get a 5-year term loan, almost all of the money you pay in the first year is interest. If you get a 20-year term loan, same thing, except it's such a lower payment. When you make that 5-year payment, right, that 5-year loan payment, but you got the 20-year term, you actually pay your 20-year loan off faster than 5 years, and you'll save on interest. So one more time, if you want a 5-year loan and you can afford the payment, you know what it is, get the 20-year loan term, okay, make the 5-year payment, and you actually pay your 20-year loan off faster than 5 years, and you'll save interest than if you went and got a 5-year loan. You pay all the interest, you pay all the payments. So not only does it save you interest, right, but it even gets your unit paid off quicker. Here's the other thing. Let's say that something crazy happened like a pandemic, right? And we better laugh, otherwise we'll cry.
Right.
So during the pandemic, maybe you lose your job for a little while. Well, if you have that 20-year term, you can go to that smaller payment. So you build yourself in some financial flexibility and some protections, right? You don't have to make that huge payment you would be making on your 5-year loan. You can go down to the smaller 20-year term payment. So it provides you with some protection. And, I have friends and stuff that'll even make the 20-year term payment for a couple months right before Christmas, if they're a little behind on money, so they can buy some better Christmas gifts for their kids and, wife, whatever it might be. So again, go for the longest term you can qualify for. Here's another crazy thing. And Brad, you can verify, you deal with this every day. Longer the term, lower the interest.
Most generally, yes, absolutely.
Give us ideas of interest rates.
Depending on credit, we can see anywhere from high 4s to 18% with credit. Now, to your point, taking the longest term, where that's really going to benefit you, I'll use your example of 20 years. If you'd like to pay it off in 5, okay, if you take a standard 5-year loan, you're going to pay, say, 6%. You're going to get that full 6% to the bank. Take your 20 and pay it off in 5, you're going to be closer to 1.25% over the life of the loan. So if you have the ability to do so, our recommendation is save the money.
Yeah, and again, you're going to get a lower interest rate with the longer term, which makes no sense. It seems backwards to me, but it's what the banks do. So again, you take advantage of it. Why take the short term, pay a higher interest rate to the bank and pay more interest when you can get the longest term, get the lower interest rate, right? Pay your loan off quicker than 5 years anyways, and build yourself some flexibility in there. Did that cover it pretty well, Tim?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay, guys, don't be afraid to fire questions. Please fire questions away.
Find the chat area, some questions in there, and we'll
and call us. That's the other thing. You can always feel free to call us. You can ask for Brad. He's in financing all day, helping customers. He's more than glad to jump on the phone, explain it to you better. You can say, why can't I call you? You can call me too. He's just smarter than I am. But if you want to go over recipes or something, I can handle that.
This is being recorded, right?
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure.
Here's Brad's phone number and the main number there if you have questions and want to get into real personal details on the finance side of things, numbers and rates and all that kind of stuff. So,
yep.
Yeah.
Brad.
Daniel just verified for us. He said, I noticed that on the lower rates and longer terms. Pretty wild. And it is. Again, it's backwards. It absolutely makes no sense. But, hey, they do it. Let's take advantage of it.
Yeah, that's a great question. What about this next? I'm going to pop up another slide here in a second. But what about your house? So you have a mortgage. Yeah, talk to me, Dave. You're shaking your head.
Yeah, that one's terrifying. You want to talk about it first?
Yeah, absolutely. Something that gets brought up more and more, especially with financing rates the way they are in the mortgage lending area. Everybody wants to refi, or they want to do a home equity line of credit. Couple major issues with that for me. What happens if you get sick and you can't work? Okay. It's a lot easier to stomach losing your camper than something that's attached to your home. I mean, to me, that's the biggest reason why. Ultimately, I never like to borrow money from an appreciating asset for something that will depreciate over time. So
explain that.
Yeah. So sure. Yeah. Our homes, most generally, they don't really lower in value. They're normally going higher and higher, especially right now. So, with your camper, as soon as it goes off the lot, it's going to start depreciating just like a car or truck. So for me, taking money out of something that you can build equity in to buy a camper just really doesn't make sense at all.
No, and again, the real, I've had people say to me through the years, well, yeah, but I get a much lower interest rate, right? Because if you don't make your payments, they're taking your house. Right. So of course you get a much lower interest rate because the bank really can't lose. They're in a very enviable position. You've been smart with your money, right? You paid your house down, or you bought it very well. You've got some equity built up. Don't use that to buy anything, in my opinion. Do not put your home at risk for a car or a boat or an RV or just don't do it. It really does not make any sense. That one's just an absolute no-brainer. We did get a question. Patricia asked, when financing, is it better to go through the dealer or get your own upfront before you shop for your unit? We're going to answer that, Patricia. I think you're going to be quite shocked with the answer that's coming up shortly.
Yeah, that's interesting. Let's just roll right into that. Go ahead and explain how that works with financing through you guys or people like you to the dealer or to on their end. So let me go ahead, Dave.
Well, it's the best kept. I'm going to call it a dirty secret. The best kept dirty secret in the RV industry and in the automobile industry, boat industry. When we do a loan, so let's say Patricia buys an RV from us because she's incredibly intelligent. Then she goes through one of our banks, right? We help her acquire a loan. The bank pays us for that. Literally, we get a check. Believe it or not, we started out offering financing not to make money because we didn't know you could make money off of it. We started out doing financing just for the convenience of our customers. And something really interesting happened. We sent in a few loans and everything was approved. They sent us a check for, the trailer, and then we got another check for the kickback. You can call it participation, kickback, whatever you want to call it. But we got a check from the bank because we did a loan for Patricia. That isn't why we went into it, like I said, right? We went into it for customer service to make it easier on our customers. So here we are holding this check, and we're like, what in the world, right? This is crazy. So then we decided, you know what? Let's just give it back to the customers. So today we call it our finance discount. If you finance with us, we give you the money that the bank gives us. Now there's one bank that doesn't pay us. we actually pay them $75. That's for people with really rough credit, that something's happened, maybe normally out of their control, that's wrecked their credit. So we pay $75 to get that loan. But again, we're trying to help those people heal their credit. But again, and when do I bring this up? People always say, well, when do I bring this up? Wait until you've negotiated your full deal, right? You've got your best price, you've got it in writing. Then say, if I finance with you, how much money are you going to give me off? They're going to act like they don't know what they're talking about. They've never heard of that, yada, yada, yada. Listen, they're getting paid by the banks. Okay, so they can pass it to you. I tell people on average, try to get 2%. Okay.
Which we talk. So you're not talking just a couple $100 here. This could be
No,
it could be thousands of dollars.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's good money, but as a rule, get at least 2%. But again, don't go to your local bank; they're not paying you.
Mm-hmm.
People say, "Well, yeah, but I know the banker really well. It's my brother-in-law." Well, shame on your brother-in-law for not giving you kickbacks and giving it to a dealer, right? That he doesn't know. But don't go to your credit union. Don't go to a local bank. Go through one of the banks at the dealership, and then you'll get paid. And it's really funny because some of our competition, I'd love to mention their name, but I just can't. I just can't bring myself to be that type of person. But they're also located here in Ohio, and amazingly enough, he's still a dealer and he has a felony, which blows my mind. I don't know how you do that, but they literally try to make us giving them the money we get from the bank to our customers is a bad thing, because of course they don't do it. And again, that's what I love about the RV industry. A dealer comes along that exposes a practice that no one knows about, hands the money to their customers, and we're the bad guy. No, there's just no way to spend that. And what they say is, well, RV Wholesalers makes you finance. No, RV Wholesalers pays you if you finance. We don't make you. Why wouldn't you, right? Why would you give up $2,500, $1,500, $3,500? Why would you give that money up? Doesn't make any sense. But again, go ahead, Tim.
Oh, is that what you guys call the finance discount? So after they get their bottom dollar price, and then there's just okay.
Yep, that's exactly it. So it's even right up front, so you don't have to wrestle us for it.
Right.
And that's another thing that we pride ourselves in. We just tell you it's there and we give it to you. We don't have to wrestle for you to get the best deal, so to speak. But again, wait, if you're not buying from us, wait until you have your best deal. Get it in writing, right? If I show up to pick up this trailer, this is exactly what I'm paying out the door. If they won't put that in writing, walk, because they're being dishonest, okay? If they will put it in writing, then say, now how much do I get off if I finance with you? I know that the banks give you a kickback or participation. Some people don't like the term kickback. How much of that comes to me? And again, hold out for at least 2%. If they deny it, won't give it to you, leave. Go somewhere that will.
Brad, I have a question for you in relation to this. So if the idea of, if I just pay cash, that's my best price, like what are there some things that you can do for people that really don't want to go into debt or be, financing, but want to pay cash? They probably would be on, but what are that they could do?
Absolutely. Well, I'll just tell you, Tim, we haven't had hardly any cash deals in years. The only time we have a true cash deal is if people just can't get financed. Their credit just doesn't qualify. The only requirement with our financing discount, keep a loan with us for at least a year, 12 payments. Okay. We walk you through the steps to save a ton of money and interest, make big principal only payments right out of the gate. So you're not paying a full year's worth of interest on that loan. I mean, it's a workaround, but once again, if you can trade a few $100s in interest for several thousand in a financing discount, we try to make it a no-brainer. That way we are helping you out.
Cool. Thanks.
Yeah, absolutely.
What about, you're talking about interest. Well, before we go there, I remember you guys saying a story, David, about folks that came all the way across the country with their kids. And could you tell me that story again? I forgot how that goes, but I remember it being related.
Yeah, it happened quite frequently at the beginning. We sell in all 50 states, even Hawaii and all throughout Canada. It happened just too. Pardon?
You probably more in other states than you do in Ohio.
Yeah. Well, I think Ohio passed the rest this year.
I mean, yeah, altogether wise.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, how many we saw outside of Ohio, and there's a lot of reasons. A big one is our what do you call it, Brad? Nationwide Service Network. That's a big one. RVW Bill Pay, and again, us giving people the participation from the bank, and us just taking care of everything. But families would show up. The first thing we do when people get here is we take them out to see their RV. That way, that you're getting exactly what you thought. It's everything's there. You can see it. It puts people's mind at ease, which I understand completely. Then, after you've been given your walkthrough, you've seen the unit. Then we come inside. We do your paperwork, and at that point, you got people all excited, right? Mom's excited, dad's excited. The kids have picked out their bunk beds. Everybody's happy. And what would happen is people would hand us a letter of credit, and what that is a letter from their bank or their credit union saying, as soon as they receive the title with the bank or the credit union as a lien holder, they would send us a check. The problem is our floor planner, the bank that pays for our units, right? We usually have about 600 out here. They don't accept letters of credit. They only accept checks. So if we accept that letter, then we're in trouble with our bank. So obviously we can't. So that's when we'd have to break it to the people that, geez, I'm so sorry, we cannot take this letter. There's nothing we can do. And literally they drive home without a camper. And you can imagine how devastated the kids were and mom and dad were. I mean, it was terrible to watch. And then we started notifying people, hey, please, we notified them in email and on the phone, right? Please don't bring a letter of credit. And make sure you have a check if you're not financing with us. And the problem is a lot of small banks, great customer service, but they don't know. So, for example, a family's getting ready to pick up an RV on Saturday here. Friday, the dad swings by, or mom picks up the check at the bank, only they don't give her a check or him a check. They give them the letter of credit. They're like, oh, no, I can't have this. Oh, no. They can accept this. We can't. So it just kept happening. And that's why we're so grateful. What are we, probably 90% or more finance now?
Every bit of it, yeah.
And we don't have surprises. People come, the kids see their bunk beds, they pick them out, right? Everybody's happy, everybody's thrilled, and they leave with their camper.
Just to throw in a little piece of buying information, there's a thing called PDI. Do you want to explain what that is, and do you guys charge for that?
Go ahead, Brad.
No, we do not charge her PDI at all. For us, that's just the cost of doing business. So,
yeah, what is it? Yeah.
Yep, pre-delivery inspection. Okay. Every trailer that comes onto our lot, okay, before someone comes and picks it up, we do a very thorough inspection. We're going to check all the plumbing, water, gas, working functionality of everything on that camper. We need to make sure it's absolutely perfect for our customers before they go out because, and David will attest to this, they're not always perfect when they get here. Now, I'm not talking about anything major, but you might need to tweak something here and there. They do bounce up and down going down the road. So we need to make sure that, when our customers to get here to pick it up, they're ready to go. And we do not charge for that. It's all part of their walkthrough process as well. When the customer does come to pick up, we're going to give them a walkthrough of the entire camper, show them how it all works.
Nice. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's something to watch for, folks, is some dealerships will have a little hidden fee in there, recovery inspection, different things. Really, the only fees you should see from your state, what would that be, Brad? Like,
you're going to see a dock and title fee, okay, from every dealer out there. And typically you're going to have a destination fee or a factory freight fee. Every dealer needs to get those on location. But I'd really watch those because a lot of times they get very overly inflated, or sometimes they don't get disclosed at all until they actually get there to pick up.
Yeah, that's the one thing you're going to want to be careful. Make sure you get in writing, like, what's my final out the door price, right?
Absolutely. Yep. And get in writing. If you get there and the prices change for any reason, you have the right reserve to remove your deposit and go about your business somewhere else. So
that's a good idea. Good. David, we were talking yesterday about, I wish we could get a tax consultant or a CPA on here to talk about this next one, but But
Yeah.
we don't have him online yet, but can you go ahead and pretend like you want to give him a nice tip?
Yeah. And Tim, I've met with them a ton and discussed and talked with them, and Brad has as well. And we always want to make sure we have the latest, greatest information for our customers. And the really cool thing is, if you have a mortgage right now and you get an RV loan, you can take the interest off your taxes as a second mortgage. So there's another huge savings for you. You can't do it if you use a credit union, and the reason is that's considered a personal loan, I believe. Is that the correct terminology?
Correct.
So the IRS won't allow it, but if you get a loan through a bank and you get an RV loan, I know that our banks qualify, then you can deduct that interest off your taxes. And people say, well, that's not that big of a deal. Yeah, it really is.
Oh, absolutely.
You add it to your current home mortgage, and it can be a massive amount of savings, and it can make the difference between paying and receiving. So again, you're already going to own an RV. You're already going to be making a payment. You're already going to be paying interest. Why not go ahead and deduct it off your taxes? So there's a great benefit there to people that currently have a mortgage.
Good. Question: what's a reasonable destination fee? We were talking about that, and I have a special at the very end for those that stuck with us here. I have a little special gift for you if it's interest. So I'll talk about that a little bit. But go ahead and talk about destination fees.
Yeah, I don't know that there is a reasonable one because it should be built in. If we should obviously. What you want to do is figure about maybe $1.10 a mile or something, right? That's probably reasonable. And where I was going at first is you just got to be careful because you can get like I know a dealer in Ohio that is charging people almost $800. That's crazy. So again,
right? What 2 hours away from you guys? The factory is only 2 hours away from you guys. So
yeah, about 3 hours. But you're talking $800. I mean, you're just using it as a profit center in your dealership. So, figure maybe $1.10 a mile. Really not more than that, especially with gasoline where it's at right now. But and guys, be prepared to fight on those things. Don't just always take it. So that's why I hesitated because of course, it costs them something to get it there, right? As it does us. But don't just all of a sudden be hit with thousands of dollars in fees and think, well, RV Wholesalers has that fee, so it's probably okay. No, do a little research. How many miles are they from the factory? Take it times about $1.10, and hold firm. And again, if they won't be reasonable, walk. I like to tell people all the time, we vote with our money. Because we do, right? Where we choose to do business tells that place that we agree with the way they do business. So if you don't agree with the way they do business, don't do business there. You're supporting the fact. For 2 decades, people have come to RV Wholesalers to get price quotes, and we know they do it. We're okay with it. Again, we can't sell them all, but they get price quotes from us to try to protect themselves from dealers that are price gouging and just flat overcharging. The problem is they still let those dealers overcharge them thousands of dollars. They beat them down with, 3,000-4,000, think, well, it's better than it was. Yeah, but it's not good enough. It's not good enough. Don't let people take advantage of you and pay them to do it. So be really, really, really be prepared to fight, and stick up for yourself. Brad, Sylvan asked a question, what's the range for the interest rate? You want to hit that again for
Yeah, absolutely. Right now, depending on credit and the amount financed and obviously the term, anywhere from high 4s to 18%. And I know that's a massive range. But rest assured, we'll do everything we can to help. If it's with another dealer, just make sure they're getting you the most competitive rate possible. Okay.
Yeah. Patricia asked, is there a veteran discount? Yeah, $500. What's the best way to negotiate the price down when talking to a dealer? If you're not coming to us, Patricia, then you would want to get our price. I just told you you'd want to get our price quote. You'd want to take it to that dealer and ask why they're so much more than we are,
Mhm.
and then try to beat them down as much as you can. And if they stick firm to it, they'll make threats like, "We're not going to help you if you don't buy from us," and silly things like that. Why would you want to do business with them? Walk out. One of my favorite ones was dealers were telling customers that RV Wholesalers sells factory seconds, like their blue jeans. We have the National Transportation Safety Board. They don't allow factories to build seconds of travel trailers, fifth wheels, and motorhomes. So, but it's the crazy stuff that dealers do to try to cover the fact that they're trying to rip people off, honestly.
Thanks, guys.
We got one more from Sylvan that said, best place to sell an RV to avoid the trade-in low ball.
Mhm.
Facebook Marketplace is really good, and RV Trader both very good. Most used trailers are gone within an hour if you're
Yep.
reasonable on the price. If you want to go to nada.com, you can get an idea what you should be able to sell it for. And if you stick close to that, it should sell probably within an hour.
I wish we had time today to get into warranties and service contracts, and are those important? But we have next week we have another webinar where we'll touch on that on Tuesday, and then on Wednesday next week we have a virtual RV show. That's pretty neat. I'm going to show you guys a little video while we wait for more questions to come in, and then we'll answer those and wrap things up. And I have that little offer for you guys. So let's go watch that video, and we'll be back. Type in your questions while you're watching, and we'll talk to you in a second. All right.
And Tim, we should announce that we unofficially have an unofficial rumor that the Big Ten is unofficially going to announce tonight that they're officially playing. And that's why, no offense to our friends up north, but you hear crying in the state of Michigan right now.
I'm wondering why you're so happy today.
Yeah, it's possible they may have to play us twice this year. I'm going to let it go at that because we love people up there. We just don't love you during football season. But
That's awesome. All right. Let's see. Austin.
yeah, we got one more we want to hit real quick, Tim, that we found. Daniel
Mhm.
asked, does the finance discount come to the buyer as a check, or do they take it off the selling price? We take it off the selling price, and the reason that we take it off the selling price is to save you taxes.
Yep. And that show, that little preview we gave you, that commercial you guys got to watch, virtualrvshow.com is where you can get registered for the drawings. We do a lot of giveaways. We've got some good giveaways coming up next Wednesday for that. So check that out. You can just super easy to register. And yeah, so I appreciate any more questions. Okay, I think we're doing pretty good. There's if you don't want to wait till next Tuesday, though, to learn about warranties and if you should spend the money for those and how to not get ripped off in that area. Check out our YouTube channel. We've already got a webinar on that called How to Buy, and that is best. Just go to YouTube, type in RV Wholesalers, and then hit subscribe, and then it'll let you in to see some training on warranty. We call them service contracts, and you can learn about that. And also during the show, we're going to be hitting on different topics. So not only walking through our trailers, having fun, giveaways, but we're also going to have some training there too, so you can ask more questions. It's interactive, so it'll be a lot of fun. So As a thank you, though, wanted to let you know that the first 4 people, I'm going to type it in here, the first 4 people that send me an email to trichardson@rvwholesalers.com with the subject 500 miles. If you're interested in buying an RV from the folks at RV Wholesalers, as a way to thank you guys for taking time, we'll give you guys a 500-mile credit for the free delivery anywhere in the U.S. So these guys deliver all over the United States. They have a service, and I'll have you guys talk about that in a second, anywhere in the U.S. And actually, you guys are selling outside the U.S. even. So, but
believe it or not, we have some going to South Korea right now. We have some going to New Zealand, and is it Bahrain that I just saw? There's some in the Middle East.
Yep.
So a little bit everywhere right now.
Yeah, that's really fascinating. So, big question though. I always know that people ask, like, I buy this camper. It comes from someplace in Ohio, but I live in Texas or Florida. How do I get service? I mean, isn't that an issue? I mean, that's why I buy local, right? So tell me what you guys figured out years ago to help people with that.
Well, we've got what we call our nationwide service network, and we've got over 2,500 service centers all across the United States that can help people that we've sent people to in the past. We continue to send people to them. They agree to get you in and get you out quickly, and they agree to take good care of you. If we get a bad report, we just cut that place loose. I give you an example. We had a customer from New Jersey. It was a young couple. This one always kind of sticks in my head because it was one that I personally helped out years ago. But they had a brand new baby, so an infant, and they had a toddler, 2-3 years old, and went down to came over from New Jersey, picked up their RV here in Ohio, then went down to Florida. They got to Disney World, and at the Fort Wilderness Campground, it was raining, and water was coming in their air conditioner, and they couldn't get their hot water heater to light. So here you are with an infant and a toddler, right? Toddler on the floor, and there's water coming in. An infant, no hot water. And, wife wanted a hotel. Husband calls me in absolute panic because he doesn't have the money for a hotel. He just paid for a brand new RV and for the trip, for the camping, park passes. He didn't have it. So he asked what we could do. Took about 15-20 minutes. We had a mobile service guy that we use in that area over there. He tightened the 4 bolts on the air conditioner. They'd come loose during the trip and stopped the leak. And then he showed them how to use the water heater. They were just turning it on wrong. And long story short, he's there for 20 minutes maybe, and the trip saved. So instead of heading home, and what damage is done to the RV as they head home, they're able to stay in camp. And, he brought up to me, if I would have bought this in New Jersey like I almost did, I would have called my dealer and he would have said, when you get home, bring it into me. Yeah. Said, our trip would have been ruined. I would have had to head home. My wife probably still wouldn't be talking to me, and he's right, and we're pretty proud of that. We're pretty proud of the fact that we can take care of people anywhere. And
it's nice too that you figured that out, because looking at the wait times for these dealerships now, it seems like the backlog is, weeks, if not months.
It's unacceptable. The average right now is 14 weeks. That's crazy. We don't ask anyone to wait 14 weeks here. We have a lot of systems in place where we keep you camping. We even have, if you're here in Ohio and you can't camp because you have a major malfunction that we can't get fixed yet, we even let you use a loaner RV so we can keep you camping. Patricia asked, if we buy from you, what about the registration when we reside in other states? Not a big deal. We get you an Ohio title. Everything gets sent to you or your bank, normally your bank. Then you contact them. We give you the paperwork and the steps to go through to get registered in your state. It's very simple process. And Jeff asked, how long does it take for an RV loan approval? You want to answer that?
Jeff, it can take anywhere from 10 minutes to 24 hours, depending on the bank. Pretty broad answer, but most generally within a couple hours, you're going to have an answer back from us.
Yeah, one day or less.
Oh, yeah. No, absolutely. And Patricia, I will add, you are going to have a temporary tag. Okay, so you're going to have plenty of time to get it registered. No need to worry there.
Yeah. It's interesting with COVID. You guys have we're starting to see car dealers and different things starting to deliver to homes. Well, you guys have been doing that how many years now?
Yeah, forever.
Big driveway.
Yeah, we had to laugh. There's a big box chain that has over 100 stores that also charges like $1,700 minimum for a PDI, and they're now acting like they're doing this new thing because of COVID, this touchless delivery that we've been doing for 23 years. I won't give you their name because I don't always feel that's right, but I'll give you their initials. It's Camping World. I do that every time. I meant CW. But yeah, guys, literally we've been doing touchless deliveries forever. Even when you come here, the last thing we do when we're done cleaning your unit is we treat it with an agent that kills COVID-19 and all the other viruses. Then we put seals on all your doors. So when the unit pulls into your driveway or you come here to pick up the unit, you come out to do your walkthrough, you're going to have a seal on the door. So you're the first person to open that RV. So we do that for peace of mind, just to make sure you know that it's been treated, it's safe, and it's ready for you to use.
Good. Brad, Patricia has a question about how long, if we apply and are approved, how long is that approval good for?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, most approvals are good for 60 to 90 days. Okay. But then you'd also added so we can make the right decision for us. I would say make sure you decide what camper you'd like before you do a credit application. Okay. Just because, once again, you don't want to shortchange yourself on an approval and end up having to have us re-pull credit down the road if we can avoid it from the very beginning. So have a really good idea, at least narrow it down to maybe one or two. And when you're ready to purchase, that's when we want to help you out.
And then you want to answer Jack's question, what is credit perfect? Is it hard to approve?
Sure. Jackie, we have a ton of lenders that we can use. Okay. We pretty much always got some bank for everyone. I would actually encourage you to reach out to me and we can have that discussion a little more in depth so I can see what we can do to help you out.
Normally we can get it taken care of.
Mm-hmm.
And if we can't, we can usually give you some advice on how to fix your credit in the next couple months so you can get camping then.
Yep.
Yes. Here's Brad's number and his email, Stafford@lbwholesalers.com. I appreciate you guys taking the time today. I think that wraps up our little workshop, and appreciate everybody hanging in there to the very end, and been fun learning some new things about RV financing, and you guys are better equipped now to make a purchase that will change your life. I know our family's getting ready to go camping in a week and a half, and we're excited. We have teenagers, and they love it, and it's going to be a special time. So hopefully you guys will get to enjoy that soon, and I know you will. So take care, guys. Thanks.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.